Okay, guys, I've seen some of Odd Ones Out before, just an episode or two, and I remember it being really funny. And just out of the blue, I had some of their videos recommended to me, so I thought this might be something fun to watch together because I do remember thinking how funny the ones I saw were. Again, I couldn't even remember which ones it was, but
I think that
let's have a
everyone
good time
at
and
some
find
point
out.
in their life should work in a fast food or retail job.
Oh, I
Not
did
to
that.
improve their work ethic or anything, but so that everyone knows what it's
I
like
worked
to have
at
that kind of
McDonald's.
job. They wouldn't work in fast food their whole lives, maybe just like for 6 months, just so they get a feel for
more
it.
than that.
So with that, let's talk about the time when I worked in
Excuse
fast
me.
food. I used to work at a very small local sandwich shop. I don't know if any of you guys heard of it. It's called Subway. Our
Subway.
spokesperson was in the news recently.
Our spokesperson was in the news recently. You look at that face, old Jared there. None of us could possibly be surprised by what was going on. Yeah, you really just want to punch
I don't know
that
if you
face
guys look at the
repeatedly.
news. Did you hear he got beat up in jail? I kind of want to meet the person who beat up Jared.
Yeah.
Did you hear?
I didn't know he got beat up. I got to look that up. No way.
He got beat up in jail? I kind of want to meet the
Oh,
person
yeah.
who beat up Jared.
Me too.
More than Jared. Not
Oh,
in person.
lot more.
We wouldn't meet in person, obviously. But, like, he would be behind bars, and I would just look at the guy who beat up my spokesperson.
Well
How many
said.
people get to say that they beat up a fast food icon who is also a pedophile?
Yeah,
Only
right.
one, and it's that guy. Okay, but seriously, guys.
Oh,
working at
man, I
Subway
wanna-
was probably one of
I
the
gotta
most easiest
look up that
jobs
story.
out there. I don't know. I'm about to complain about it to you guys. We got free cookies, and you know the comic with the Subways.
They
in
gave you
hell?
cookies?
I was actually
I would
working
work
at
there.
Subway when I made that comic. I just think it adds sort of a little bit of value to it. You see, the owners, who are husband and wife, can you believe it, of the Subway I worked
What-
at,
what did it say
value
next to him?
to it. You see, the owners, who are husband and
He had crazy eyes. Uh-oh. Probably so did the guy who beat up Jared, I would imagine.
wife, can you believe it, of the Subway I worked at owned 2 stores. One of the Subway stores was in a Walmart on an Indian reservation, because we
Wow.
have those in Arizona, and the other Subway was the Subway I worked at. And since the Walmart store was always busy, the owners would spend 99% of their time at that store. So I didn't really have a boss most of the time. On the off chance
That's
the
kinda
owners
cool.
did show up, they would just pick up some food and then they would make sure I was making sandwiches the right way. And every time I made a sandwich in front of them, they would always find something wrong with it, without fail.
jeez.
You put on too many olives. Do you know, according to the Subway formula, you're only supposed to put on 8 olives on a foot long? 8!
8?
One for every other bite. That's just ridiculous. Can you imagine someone just counting out 8 olives?
I don't even like olives, and I'm offended by that. What the fuck?
Nobody
That's
does
chicken
that.
shit right
I usually
there.
worked the closing shift, and at the end of the night, we would turn the alarm and we'd have 60 seconds to get out of the store. But one time I had the opening shift, so I unlocked the door to get in with my key, and the alarm went beep, beep.
Oh,
meaning I had
shit.
60 seconds to turn it off. No big deal, right? I've turned the alarm on all the time when I was
Oh,
closing. So I go to the
shit.
little control panel, and I type in the code, and nothing happens. The beeping is still there, and the clock is still ticking down. So I go, okay,
Okay, now you'd be feeling like you're the bomb specialist or the guy having to defuse the bomb in in the cop
Nothing
movie.
happens. The beeping is still there and the clock is still ticking down. So I go, okay, I'm going to press each button very carefully.
Yeah.
I want to make sure each button makes a beep when I press it.
Right, makes contact.
Beep, beep. Nothing still happens.
Different
so I go,
code for shutting it off?
I'm going to make sure to press each button very carefully. And I start thinking,
Super
did they
carefully.
change the passcode without telling me?
You know what that's like though? Redoing the buttons over. It's just like when if you're speaking to someone and they can't understand you, so you speak. They speak a different language, so you speak louder.
This is the only passcode I
Now
know,
they'll
so
get
we're
it.
just going to try it again. And I press each button very carefully. Beep. 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 And it goes quiet. And then the alarm goes off. I still had like 20 seconds left. But I guess when you get it wrong 3 times,
Three
it
times,
automatically
yeah.
assumes that you're a burglar. So while the alarm is going off, I look on the contact sheet for the owner's cell phone number. I step outside, I call him, and he doesn't pick up. So I go back
great.
inside, find the number for the other Subway
Oh,
store.
shit.
They open an hour before we do. Someone picks up with their stupid voice. Oh, thank you for calling
With their
Subway. I'm
stupid
blah, blah, blah,
voice.
blah, 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 blah. How may I help you? And I go, hey, is Mike there? That's not his real name, guys. Don't worry. And they go, just a minute. Yeah, sure. I have all the time in the world. The cops might be on their way, but take your time. So
Right.
Mike picks up. Yellow. Hey, Mike, this is James. What's the passcode for the alarm? Who is this? It's James. What's the passcode? What are you doing there, James? Why aren't you answering the question?
Yeah.
The opening shift. Is the alarm going off? Yeah, no one told me the new code. Yeah, we changed it. It's the last 4 digits of your social security number. Oh, okay. Thanks, Mike. I don't know my social security number.
Oh,
so
shit.
I finally get the alarm off.
Oh,
no
shit.
one showed up, thankfully. Which I actually don't know if that's a good thing or not. Now that I say it out loud.
I was just gonna say I don't think no one showing up is good news.
Thankfully, which I actually don't know if that's a good thing or not,
Yeah.
now that I say it out loud. We did have a store manager who would like make the schedule and sometimes tell us, hey, can you guys do a better job at your job? But other than that, she was cool. She watches my videos and so do her little brothers. They're big fans. Shout out to Ivan and Andy. Those are the brothers. So get this, at Subway, you
Hi,
only
Ivan
work
and
with
Andy.
one other person. Just you and them in an empty Subway for 5 hours. I mean, we weren't like empty all the time. Okay. And when you're not making sandwiches, you have other stuff to do, like stocking the chips, or
Sure.
we had stuff to do. But
Yeah,
okay, we did
yeah.
watch a lot of Netflix and do homework. So I mean,
Bet.
that other person you worked with would make or break your entire shift. It wasn't the annoying customers. I kind of got used to annoying customers. So I worked with a lot of crappy people.
I could not get used to annoying customers, which is why I never worked or didn't work in the service industry again, because I would just get fired because I would yoke a customer up by
And
the
I
neck.
also worked with a lot of people who I would probably never become friends with, except in a work setting.
Right,
So you gotta understand
right.
the type of
We all
people who
do
got
that.
jobs at Subway. Potheads. Most of them are potheads. And some of them are really cool. I'm just going to go over a couple
With
of
the
the
munchies.
characters that I worked with. There was Tyler. I freaking love this guy. He smoked a lot of weed. He actually taught me what vaping was, and he got me into Clash of Clans. I actually mentioned him and his girlfriend in my riddles video. I don't know if I ever told him that. And of course, I have to mention Corey. He was cool. We watched How to Get Away
did
with Murder
smoke
on
weed.
Netflix, and I've also hung out with him outside of work. What him and
Wow.
Tyler had in common is that they would actually do their job, which you got to appreciate. Then there was this guy. And get this, who was also named Jared. He loved marble, and that's like the only...
If you're named Jared, do not apply at Subway. Please do not apply at Subway. And if they're named Jared, Subway, please don't hire them.
And get this, who was also named Jared. He loved
No
marble,
way.
and that's like the only thing he would talk about. I can say these things. He doesn't watch my videos. There was Sarah. She was cool. She made me a bread bowl. And her boyfriend, Jay. He talked about chakras and third eyes. He was interesting. And also, there's
Interesting.
Anthony. He's cool. What's up, Anthony? For the 100,000 sprinkles video, I actually went back to Subway to use their scale because I knew they had one. And we counted 500 sprinkles again just to be more accurate for the 100,000. And Anthony helped me count instead of working. I mean, at least he got paid minimum wage for it. So 2 more stories before I go. One time, Jared asked me to take out this pile of trash, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just put this pile of trash in the dumpster. And as I was taking it out, I saw that there was a chip poster in the pile, and I thought, this is too cool to throw away. I'm going to keep it. So I took it home with me, and then the next day when I went in, people were saying, oh, where's the chip poster? We can't find the chip poster. We haven't seen it anywhere. And I'm thinking, I have the poster. I decided not to tell anyone that I had the poster, and it's still hanging up in my room. So if you're finding out about
What did that
tell
say in the
anyone that
corner?
I had the poster, and it's still hanging
My mom threw it away when I moved. Oh, no, not the chip poster.
up in my room.
Oh,
Sorry,
shit.
boss, if you're finding out about this now. Okay, and then the other story, I was working with a manager, and we were just making sandwiches like usual. And I noticed that when we toasted a sandwich, it would burn the paper a little on the edges. That probably shouldn't be happening.
Right.
So then a customer asks for just bacon toasted. And the boss lady puts some bacon on paper, and then puts it in the toaster. And we don't have a setting for just bacon. So then when she opens the toaster, there was a fire on the bacon.
There
so then
you
she
go.
starts to whack it with the little metal tray thing, but all she ended up doing was fanning
Fanning
the
the
flames,
flames.
making the fire bigger. You got this, right? Then I went in the back and
You
got the
got
fire
this, right?
extinguisher, and I actually used it. I single-handedly saved that Subway. Wait. What have I done? Is it okay if the bacon's a little crispy and has nitrogen and carbon dioxide stuff on it?
That's fine. That was pretty. I like stories like that. I just enjoy, listening to other people's experiences. I'd love to make videos like that. It's just that they're best told when you can animate them. And I can't animate because I have zero artistic ability. None.